All right, here we go, right? Flame sensor and the spark igniter on this. We've seen those in the class. We've seen them in the units. I'm going to take these out real quick. These are Phillips screws, right? And so you would just undo the screws that hold it in, and we'll start with the flame sensor, right? Flame sensor is just one steel electrode. I've told you before, it doesn't move, it just sits there. But you'll get a layer of carbon buildup on that actual rod, and sometimes it can't sense the flame. I don't know if you can see it, but you can actually look, and there's a spot right here. You can see the where the discoloration has been, where the flame went across. So you want to make sure that you clean that out or clean that off. You can take that same brass brush and sit here and clean it like this. If you're not coordinated enough or want to hold the brush and move the brush around, right? You can hold the rod and just scrape it and turn it inside the bristles themselves. Many ways to do this. One guy even told me I could take a $10 bill and clean it because of the fabric of the money, but I didn't have $10 to do that at the time, and I wasn't going to waste it. So if you want to try that, feel free, but I am not liable for any monetary loss that you may incur. So you just want to make sure that you use that soft bristle brass to clean that flame sensor, right? Flame sensor is just one electrode. On a spark igniter, we have a very few of these in the shop, but you'll notice that on the spark igniter, you have one where the wire is connected to the to your furnace board, and then the other electrode that you have here is grounded, okay? And that spark actually jumps across from the main electrode that's wired to the grounded portion. But they get dirty nonetheless, so since you're right here cleaning everything, same thing, you want to take that brass and clean all that off, make sure there's no buildup of any carbon or whatnot, okay? So just do a good job cleaning it, scraping it off. I try not to use a steel or wire brush. I try to use brass. It's soft. It doesn't harm the surfaces or coatings or whatnot that I believe stainless steel and your wire brushes do. So once you're done with that, pretty much the rest of this is just a sheet metal housing. There's nothing to it. You're going to reassemble. So I'm going to put these back in, and then we'll pause the video and start over with another one. So spark igniter, right? Make sure that it goes in proper. I'm going to take the gloves off, not for safety purposes, but for demonstration ease, right? I try to label things with a Sharpie, one for me, but also for also just in case the next guy comes along. It's like a little note that you leave in there. Oh, gotta have the flame sensor. Make sure that the flame sensor is orientated up, right? It only goes in two ways, right? One way's wrong though, so you got to make sure that you put it where it's going to be in the path of the flame, and you would just tighten it back down. Right. Now that we've got that in, we need to put our in-shot burners back in that we just cleaned. Make sure that you start, and you'll see that they line up, and you put them back on the actual over the holes that they were in. You will not put a screw in this side because this is where the other burner is going to meet, but you can put a screw on that side, right? And that'll hold it in place. Right. Start with the last one that you took out, not the first one. And that's probably typical of most units because there's this little tab that overlaps on each one. So we can lay that right there. cameraman is wonderful. He doesn't catch all my mistakes. All right. You'll also just reassemble for your rollout switch that sits above the burners. You would attach it right back. And this is just the reassembly process of that little burner area. Put it back together in the reverse order you took it apart, right? So we're here now, and we'll move this out the way. And we've basically got the gas valve and the orifices that are left. But before I put this back in, someone volunteered something that is available out in the field. I have used plenty of thermostat wires to clean out the orifices or whatnot. Real simple, readily available. Most everybody has one or can get your hands on it. But there is also a drill kit, okay? And this is one that we have here today. There is a chart in here, okay? And what all this is a bunch of precise drill bits. Not drill bits, but yeah, drill bits. Index, right? Anyway, I don't have one of these, but what these are, there's numbers on each one of these, just like the orifices on your, or just like the sizes of the orifices in your units and such. And you can see that these index bits go from a larger size down to a smaller one. And you can actually use these if you have it available to you. You can find the exact number. So this is a number 40. If I had a number 40 orifice, then I could double check the size of that orifice, make sure it's not oversized. You know, it's the correct stamped number that's in there. And you can use this to kind of clean in there as well. But really to double check and make sure that your orifice is what it says it is. Make sure nobody's actually used a drill bit from out of their toolbox just to make things a little larger. Okay, so this is a kit, very, very useful in the field if you can get your hands on those. Like I said, you take one there and you could actually go inside. Be careful not to you know, dig around too much, but you can definitely use it to clean any dirt or whatnot that could be built up by, like I said, rats or dirt daubers or something like that. So, and I will put that back there in just a second. All right, but really, you just turn this around and you would line it back up. You would have to make sure that your orifices and your burners, you know, mate properly. And then once you do that, I mean, you just reassemble. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So there you have it. Your burner assembly is reassembled, it's clean, and it's ready to slide back into the unit. But before we do that, I'm gonna do one more little quick video, and we'll end this one for right now.